If you've listened to any of our other radio reps and Find Out in Fives, you know by now that our minds naturally focus on challenges and difficulties rather than on what's going well. You'll also know that we can't just switch this off, and trying to ignore it for very long is impossible. Very commonly, our thoughts go around and around in our head. We get hooked by them, reacting to them, and this can influence how we feel, how our body responds, and how we behave. This radio rep looks at what happens when we respond a little differently to our thoughts. It's about noticing and naming them. This can help us to see thoughts for what they are, which is a flow of words and pictures that our minds generate. Instead of reacting automatically without really being aware of what we're doing, we create a pause that allows us to step back and simply notice what's going on. An important distinction here is that we're not getting into whether the thought is true or not. All we're doing is noticing and naming it as a thought, and even that little change can make a big difference, as it gives us the chance to decide whether the thought is helpful to us. Remember, as with all of our radio reps, please engage with this as far as you feel comfortable. You could have a go or listen along or think about something else for the next few minutes. You can always come back to it at a later time if you'd like. As with all of these exercises, it can feel a little different and strange at first, like wearing in a new pair of shoes. As far as possible, try to be curious about it. This exercise is all about noticing and being curious about our thoughts rather than judging them or getting hooked into them. Start by making yourself as comfortable as possible. Try to signal to your mind that you're about to do some work with it by holding yourself in an alert position if you can. Usually this means supporting your head to look forward with your shoulders back. Give your shoulders a quick roll if it helps, and let your eyes gently close or fix them on a point in front of you. And for now, just breathe in and out. Notice the sound and feel of your breath as you breathe, and as your rib cage expands and contracts. Now I invite you to notice what thoughts are showing up. It's best to practice this on some fairly low-level thoughts rather than the ones that are causing you the most difficulty if you can. Maybe think about something that's been a little bit irritating today, or some small frustration that you've had. This is a bit like practicing driving on a quiet road before you expect yourself to do it on a motorway. I'm going to think about being nervous talking on the radio, so it's quite easy for me to become aware of one of these thoughts. Allow your thought to show up in your mind. Notice whether any emotions come with it, or whether your body automatically reacts to it. For me it does. I'm aware of my thought, what if I'm not making sense? And my shoulders get tense. So you have a go if you like. Let a thought show up, and just let it be there for a few seconds, noticing it. Remember to breathe as you do this, gently in and out. You might see your thought as words in your mind, or as a picture, or without either of those visual things. All of this is fine. Now we're going to add a few words to the start of your thought and name it for what it is. So begin, I'm having the thought, and then add your thought on. For me, this is, I'm having the thought, what if it's not making sense? And just do this for a few seconds, noticing, remembering again to breathe as you do this gently in and out. I'm having the thought. All we're doing is naming your thoughts for what they are. So you could also try, I'm noticing my thought, or my mind is having the thought. Just play around a little with that in your mind. We're going to stop this now and notice what the experience was like, because it can be a little strange to begin with, and it's common for thoughts like, am I doing this right, to show up. What can happen though is that we create a little bit of distance from the thought that we were having. So for me, my initial thought of what if I'm not making sense had led to some tension in my body. When I named it to myself as a thought, I'm having the thought, what if I'm not making sense? I felt calmer. I could see that it was a thought, not automatically something that was happening or that I needed to react to right now. I could see that if the exercise isn't clear for some people, they could let me know via the website and we could try again, or a different way. My mind was trying to protect me from seeing potential problems, and in this moment it wasn't helpful, it was distracting. Creating some space from that thought let me do what I felt was important, which was carry on. Creating distance from a thought means that we can take a different perspective or see other options, and that can be really helpful. Noticing and naming is just one way to do this. So if you're curious to find out more, please visit yorkhospitals.nhs.uk and look for psychological medicine or search for Radio Reps to listen again. You'll be able to find all of our self-help resources that we're developing on that site.